Greetings that are friendly, it's me, the Necrofessor, and it's time for another Plague News. This one is a coronavirus update. Our favorite waifu, also known as COVID-19. Let's see what the numbers look like today. Wait. Those numbers do not look too good. Is it me or did they double since I last did a video? Now, allow me to be the voice of rambling reason and say that, on one hand, we do have a rapid media interest in this whole coronavirus thing, and lots of people are starting to realize that this should be something that they should be considering in the back of their head pieces, just churning away. You see, many medical facilities are now starting to actually respond, and the global preparedness is starting to take effect. Isn't that lovely? Now people are starting to, pay attention to this thing. On the other hand, I'm starting to see stuff like this.
Side other issues from a disease control point of view, it works.
Videos emerge on social media of authorities using increasingly drastic measures.
Do you have to drag them away like that? Oh no, the Oompa Loompas from Mike TV's room are dragging them away. Is it me or do they not look like they're enjoying that very much?
Around China, residents post scenes claiming officials are welding the doors of apartment buildings.
Ah yes, welding apartment doors shut. Just like the old days when you would paint a big black cross on the doors to let people know that the bubonic plague was infecting the houses. Afflictions travel in many ways, but some things never get old. Now, I'm not here to make light of the dead, but I am here to laugh at death every once in a while. I feel like death has it coming. And it means nothing to those who have actually perished, for you see, we are all just sort of existing together, aren't we? There is also other things that are taking place as well. Fear of a plague will inevitably summon the worst of humanity out of the woodwork to, unfortunately, prey upon the misinformed and profit from other individuals' suffering. God, could you imagine the individuals like that? Those monsters! Oh, by the way, did you know that you can buy plague gear on my Etsy store? Anyway, as a scientist and as a volunteer at the local morgue, I can tell you that there is much we can learn from the dead. However, there's not much we can teach death, so I figure that we should utilize this opportunity to educate one another. And for those who don't really know much about the coronavirus, and I'm not claiming to know much about it, I'm not a medical professional, but I have many chained up in my basement, and they all agree with what I have to say. A quick primer on what is the coronavirus, and thus far, shows some recent developments that have been taking place. What is the coronavirus? Also now known as COVID-19. Kind of a cool name. Now, who created the coronavirus? That is a story for another time. What is the coronavirus? Simply put, it is a virus that infects the respiratory system via airborne droplets, thin, gross globules that exit your mucus passages, which are passed forth by human hosts. They are also passed by other hosts. A little bit more on that later. Now, when was this first thing kicked off, this here coronavirus? The first official diagnosis was on the 1st of December of 2019. However, certain generational strain growth takes certain gestation periods, and then later on, as we all know, different cases were cropping up. So who was truly infected first? Still a bit of a mystery. but I would assume that it was around that time when things started happening, when unidentified cases of a upper respiratory issue for individuals were being reported around hospitals. Now, where did this take place? Well, it's in the city of Wuhan in China. The Hubei province it's big. It's a lot bigger than I thought it was. So it actually makes a lot of sense as to the why the coronavirus was able to propagate so easily. And that is due to the trafficked area during the holiday season, led to the rapid propagation of the disease. It was also in a very highly trafficked area. A lot of things move in and out of the Hubei province and Wuhan in general, and that was certainly a catalyst for the rapid expansion of the illness. Now, how coronavirus? How? Who made this? No, we're not going to ask that. It is been determined, as far as we know, that it shares a whole bunch of genome similar to that of a bat-derived strains of the coronavirus, which suggests zoological origins, with an intermediary species. They're saying pangolins? It's still really unspecified as to the pure nature of pangolins. Sand shrew? What? Ripped off the microphone. This episode brought to you by Narcoleptic Raven Animal Tranquilizers. Okay, now here's a quick clip of our boy Tedros spitting those numbers and telling us to wash our hands and don't touch me! Anyway, here's the clip.
Thank you, Tariq. And good afternoon to everyone online and in the room. Let me start as usual with the latest numbers. As of 6 a.m. Geneva time this morning, China has reported a total of 48,630 cases of COVID-19 to WHO, including 2,747 deaths. But as you know, it's what's happening in the rest of the world that's now our greatest concern. Outside China, there are now 3,474 cases in 44 countries and 54 deaths. We're at a decisive point. For the past 2 days, the number of new cases reported in the rest of the world has exceeded the number of new cases reported from China. And in the past 24 hours, 7 countries have reported cases for the first time. Brazil, Georgia, Greece, North Macedonia, Norway, Pakistan, and Romania. My message to each of these countries is, this is your window of opportunity. If you act aggressively now, you can contain this virus. You can prevent people getting sick. You can save lives.
So basically the spread is getting worse. However, don't be the nasty worm and go around licking doorknobs. Got it. I say wear a plague mask at all times and never go out and don't trust anybody and skulk throughout the night and also just be excellent to one another. We can do all that at the same time. I say we sully forth and read some good news. Okay, so children are getting infected. Oh wait, no, that's not good news. Will the Olympics be cancelled? As far as we can tell, the Tokyo Olympics will still continue to go through. Okay, that's pretty good. You might end up having an infected Olympics. That might be a new concept. You never know. See which kind of pathogen can spread quickest across the field. Let's see, tech conferences around the world are being canceled. Good news for some, bad news for computer tech companies and stuff. That makes sense. A lot of export stuff comes out of China, and a lot of these events, they don't want to create areas where there are cluster bombs of contagion, if you will. One individual spreads to the other, and the propagation process of the germs goes so very fast that they can no longer keep up with it, and there you go. Now your event is now known for having that horrible pandemic happen that one time. Needless to say, hotels, airlines, restaurants, it's really any industry that involves travel or, people, they're definitely being affected by this coronavirus thing. However, the good news is, it's actually cutting back on pollution. That's good news. Yeah, it turns out if you just Google coronavirus pollution, you'll actually see that certain things are starting to clear up due to the fact that everybody's so afraid to go outside, therefore less interaction and traffic is taking place, and you can see where this is going. I'm not going to advocate for plagues. I've been accused of it before, but all I'm going to say is, remember, wash your hands, cover your mouth, and don't touch me! That's about it. Please, just heed my advice. Y'all didn't listen to me last plague, and look what happened then! Anyway, I'm gonna end with this video. My recording was a little weird, but this is Vice President Mike Pence addressing the coronavirus at CPAC this year. I'm just gonna play it for you. Y'all have a nice day. More updates soon, if we survive.
Allow me to address an issue that I know is on the hearts and minds of people all across this country. The potential impact of the coronavirus here in America. President Donald Trump has no higher priority than the health, safety, and well-being of the American people. Last month, following word of the outbreak of the coronavirus in China, President Trump took unprecedented action to protect the health of Americans. He declared a public health emergency. We suspended travel to the United States from China. We initiated quarantine efforts for American citizens returning and established a White House coronavirus task force, which has literally met every single day to protect the American people. As of today, we have 15 cases of coronavirus that have been detected in the United States, with only one new case detected in the last 2 weeks. There's another 45 cases that have been diagnosed among Americans who've been repatriated from China. And while one American is hospitalized, thankfully all the patients have been treated and are doing well. And while the risk to the American public remains low, as the President said yesterday, we're ready. We're ready for anything. Yesterday, President Trump directed me to lead a whole-of-government approach to address the coronavirus in this country. And I promise you, we will continue to bring the full resources of the federal government to bear to protect the American people. And as the President also said, it's important to remember we're all in this together. This is not the time for partisanship. The American people expect us to work together. And I promise you, this President, this administration, is going to work with leaders in both parties. We'll work with leaders across this nation at the state and local level. And this President will always put the health and safety of America first.